What is up, you guys? Today I'm going to be bringing you guys on the process of designing and receiving, unboxing a glove from Grace Glove Co. So the highlight of this one is going to be the 3D builder that they have on their website and how that experience is to use. And so I'm going to take you along for my design process for my Grace glove. And yeah, at the end of the video we'll see when it arrives. I'll unbox it, give you my thoughts, maybe even break it in, so we'll see how we go. But yeah, so let's get started. Okay, you guys, so the first thing I'm going to do here is go to the search bar and hit Grace Glove Company, which is already up here. Alright, now that this is open, we can scroll down a little bit to the bit where it says design your dream glove or 3D custom glove builder. Same thing here on the website, they both take you to that builder. So we're going to click on one of those. And then we're going to head over to fielder's glove. There's catcher's mitt, first base mitt. I'm going to do a fielder's glove here. And then you get to, once this loads up, you'll see the 3D move aroundable builder model here. So this is your basic starting point. You've got an iWeb. All the Grace Glove Co. gloves at the moment come with dual welting. So it's going to be a dual welting iWeb here to start off with tan laces or blonde. Now, my design process itself is going to be relatively simple, but I want to show you guys all the features as I go anyway. So, first thing is I'm going to choose leather type. I'm going to go with Japanese kip for mine. I like a slightly firmer feel. And then I'm going to switch over down here. We've got adult and baseball. That's me. So now we're going to go to sizes. My size, I'm going to choose a 12-inch. Good all-round size for any player that doesn't really have a specific position, just wants to play all-round, or great size for pitchers specifically. So I'm doing a pitching glove today. That is going to be a 12-inch. I'm a right-handed thrower, so that'll keep right there. And then you got webs, so I will show you real quick all the different web options here. We have the first, there's the iWeb, there's this mod loop web which they call the GC. Then there's the basket web, which on theirs is called the B web. Then we have the V, so it's almost like an H but it meets down at the bottom. Then we have a regular H itself, and an OG web, which is going to be a laced single post. Then we have an MG closed, which is a two-piece closed pitching web. SG closed, which is the one-piece infield slash pitching web. Then we've got a T web, this is going to be a trapeze style T, and then MX closed is going to be a fancier basket web with X lacing. So the one I'm going to go with today, I'm going to keep it very simple, is we're going to go with a basket web. This is something I don't actually have. When I tried on the sample basket web at the Charlie Rose GloveCon over here, I like the feeling of it, and it's something that I don't actually have. There we go, there's a man behind the GloveCon for you. So yeah, when I tried it on, it felt pretty good, and I don't actually have a high quality basket web pitching glove at the moment, so I want to try that. So that's what we're going to go with. Now I'm not going to add, there's the options to add finger hood and finger pad, so there's your pad, and then there's your finger hood. I'm not going to add a finger hood or a finger pad to this one. I'm going to go 2 in the pinky and keep my finger in the glove, I think. So I'm not going to bother with the finger hood or the finger pad. But once you've got all of these options selected, there's your base model, and we can move on. So for my actual leather colors, I'm going to keep most of it blonde, so we can skip through the first bit, but it starts blonde for every leather panel. But if you wanted an example of the different leather panels that you can actually select, this is what the inside palm lining looks like. You've got a red, for example, or a yellow, or a blue. I'm going to keep mine blonde. And then pinky, if you swipe over here with this 3D builder, you can see the very edge of the pinky here, and all the different panels that you can choose. And that goes all the way around the glove towards the web as you go down the list here. So I'm leaving all of the main shell components blonde. And I'm going to go down to bindings. And binding for me is going to be green. So that might be a hint as to the sort of theme that I'm going for here, but you'll see in a minute. We then have palm, so that's actually the shell palm as opposed to the palm liner, which you can see over here. But I'm also going to keep that blonde. Next we have laces, and again I'm going to switch the tanners over to green. Now this is like a forest green. On the builder it might show up slightly differently. It looks a bit more of a bright green, but you can be assured that it is a forest green. You can see it better on the builder, and when you hover over this it shows up as forest green. Then we've got welting. I'm going to keep the welting blonde as well. I like that clean blend in look. It's nice and simple, and yeah, I'm happy with leaving the welting blonde. But if, for example, I was to do yellow welting, that's how that would look. But for me, I'm keeping this one nice and clean, nice and simple, and sticking with blonde. Next thing we got is stitching. I'm going to actually go with a bit of yellow for the stitching. Now, you might get a dead giveaway at this point that I'm going for an Australian theme on this glove, a bit of green and gold. Inspired actually by one of our Team Australia pro guys, Lachlan Wells. His glove that he's using in the KBO right now looks very, very similar to this. So I thought I would do something similar, but yeah, I'll add a bit of yellow, and then once you've gone past the stitching, the next options are the logos. So there's a base color for the logo and then a outline color for the logo. The base color is going to be that one there, you can see it, but I'm going to have a green base. And then there's the outline, and I'm going to have a yellow outline. If you need to see that more clearly, there's the outline, but I'm going to go with yellow. Next thing is the thumb logo. Now it's just over here, and in the next few steps you can choose whether you have this G with a home plate thumb logo right here, or whether you have a number, like your jersey number or a number that means something to you. That also works, but that's a second step later on. But for me, I'm going to keep the G logo because I can't guarantee what number I'll have, so who knows. So yeah, I'll do the G. I'm going to go with a green G with a yellow home plate. So hopefully that shows up nicely on the blonde. It should do because it's embroidery. But yeah, there you go. So that is the base design that I am going for. Nice and clean, nice and simple. Just a bit of Aussie theme going on there. But yeah, I want to highlight, this is a really cool builder, especially when it runs smoothly, because you can move the glove almost 360 degrees, completely see every little angle of it, and even though it's a 3D render, it looks pretty similar shape-wise and colors-wise to what you're actually going to get. So I think it's a very helpful builder. Like, it's definitely a good system to have, and a lot of brands are sort of slowly moving into the 3D movable builder world. But yeah, this is really cool, and I enjoy being able to spin the glove around and have a look at the different elements. So now that we've done all of the colors here, we're going to slide over to the next page, and this is where your personalization happens. So this is where I was talking about having the thumb logo or the thumb number. If you switch it over here to number, you can put any number you want, for example 8, and it should show up there. There we go. That's the logo I'm going for, but that was just an example of the numbers that you can do, the colors. Now the next thing I'm going to add is the name on the thumb. I'm just going to keep it simple again with this one, and just go with my last name like that, and I'll also make that green. Okay, so that is the name there on the side, and then the last thing I'm going to do is go around to the front here on the index finger of the glove and press yes. I'm going to add a flag. Now it gives you a few options here. I'm going to stick with, as you may have guessed, the Aussie flag here. On the index finger, there's the options to put it on the middle and ring fingers as well, but I'm going to stick with the index finger, nice and symmetrical. And yeah, that is the completed design. I'll give you a little 360 here. And then that's it. So if you guys ever want to design a glove on Grace Glove Co, that is how you do it. That's what you can expect, and we will now cut to that glove arriving and the unboxing of it. So I'll see you over there. Alright you guys, so it is finally here. The Grace Glove Co Aussie themed custom is here. We're gonna open it up real quick. I have already seen it. Obviously I designed it, so I know what I'm looking at. But yeah, I just want to give you guys the reveal and the first impressions on what I think of it. So let's get straight into that. So here it is, still in the plastic. There we go. So I'm a big fan. Visually especially, I love the way the colors are playing. The green is a little bit brighter in person than it was on the builder, so it looks even better, it pops off a bit better. You can see the blonde is nice and consistent. The yellow pops in a little bits here on the logos. And the stitching, the web is even. And by the looks of it, the dual welt is also pretty even, which is something you see on a lot of smaller brands with dual welting. The welting will often get wobbly. This one is actually pretty even and consistent, so that's a positive. It feels pretty good on the hand. I think the leather feels nice and smooth. It's nice and snug, but it's not too tight. And it has still got room for tightening, so it's a good fit on my hand. And size-wise, it feels pretty good. It feels like a sort of large-ish 12, nice and deep. The basket web's going to play pretty nicely when it's broken in, and it has come with hinges sort of pre-formed, so this will be a very easy glove to break in. I won't need to use water or anything, I don't think. It's just gonna break in pretty naturally, pretty organically. Yeah, I plan to give it a slight flare on the thumb, slight flare on the pinky, but nothing crazy. Probably gonna wear it two in the pinky with the finger in like this. But yeah, I'll just give you a little up close tour really quickly. But yeah, overall I'm pretty stoked with how this has come out. This looks really good. Alright, for a close-up look, as you can see, we've got the green and gold Grace logo, Aussie themed obviously, got the last name, got the nice forest green binding, laces, tiny bit brighter than the binding, but that's fine, it kind of looks cool, a little bit of contrast. And then we've got the yellow stitching on the basket web, which has actually come out pretty nicely. A couple of wobbles, but it still looks pretty good. And then the welting, nice and even in my opinion, it's pretty good. And the Aussie flags actually come out quite nicely as well for the size of it. A lot of the time the stars will be hard to get right, but they have come out pretty decently, I think. And then over to the inside we've got the palm, and you can see it's got a nice vertical shape. I think it's gonna break in quite nicely. You can see the pinky and thumb hinges are pretty much predefined, and it's going to be nice and deep. And I like that in a pitching glove. I've got a good long thumb lacing on the inside here for some structure, and the stamping's all crispy. So yeah, visually, aesthetics wise, this glove is definitely appealing to me. I like it. I'm biased because I did design it, but I think it has come out very nice in terms of the way it's looking and feeling initially. We've got a moisture wicking material on the inside here. We've got the liner being the same leather as the shell, so it's a nice consistent feel, nice and stiff, but not too ridiculously hard. As far as the laces go, they feel okay, pretty decent. Nothing special, but not terrible either. Maybe the tiniest bit dry, but like any colored laces are usually going to be more processed. So, but I don't see these being an issue. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. But yeah, they don't, that doesn't jump out at you as crazy nice laces either. So good, decent laces, good, decent feel overall, and we'll just have to wait and see how it plays once it's broken in and play catch with it a bit. And yeah, we'll see how we go. Alright you guys, so that was the design process and the reveal of a Grace Glove Co. Custom. Now I hope you enjoyed. I think it's definitely a cool builder. I think it's worth noting though that I had small issues with Safari as opposed to Chrome when the builder would work. On Safari the flag didn't want to show up, but I believe that is an issue that they are amending, as I gave them some feedback on that front, but I think it should be fixed pretty quickly and it's nothing to worry about. But the actual builder itself was really good. It was clear, you could see what you were looking at, you could rotate it 360, and yeah, it was definitely consistent with what has actually come out of the builder. So the builder experience itself is actually very good. I think it was easy to navigate, pretty solid in terms of the performance of the builder, and it's, yeah, again, pretty accurate to what's actually come out here. As far as the glove goes, first impressions wise, the leather feels nice, the fit and the size feel good, the hinge points are already a bit predefined, so it's going to be a pretty easy, decent break-in. In terms of actual performance, we have to figure it out. We'll have to use it a bit more once it's broken in, and I can do a separate video on that, short form, or if you want to see an actual in-depth review on this glove, let me know in the comments. But it is a pitching glove, so there's not a whole lot to worry about in terms of performance, fielding or such. It just needs to, catch the ball. So I'm confident that it's going to do that. I think you should definitely go check them out on Instagram, on the socials, Grace Glove Company, and then play around with their builder if you're interested in getting one from them, because it is a pretty good little setup. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you want a similar video about this glove, in-depth breakdown, actually using it, in the comments. Tell me what you want to see more of, and I appreciate you guys. So see you in the next one. That's money. Hey, the pocket's there. I can definitely say that I would pitch with this. Oh! Oh my days.
Last one, best one.
Last one, best one. Guys, check this thing out. Love this thing. This is cool.